It's also a great way to blind your opponent and keep your opponent on the defensive. If you're never throwing anything, your opponent's just going to come over and run you over with punches. But when you're throwing your jabs out there, you're making it like kind of a push away where he's not going to want to run into that. So that's why you throw the jab. Now, once again, you're going to say that's combat sports. That has nothing to do with Kung Fu San Soo. You might be right with that, but bear with me. I'm getting to the pivoting, so calm down. Okay, so we understand how to hold the hands, or how I hold my hands. Also, don't lift your elbows up too much. This is what I call the fatal funnel. If you're fighting like this, you're going to get shot in with a good double underhook on you. You're going to get double underhooked and they're going to take you down, meaning they're going to wrap underneath you and toss your ass. If your elbows are like this, you can get kicked by a good Muay Thai fighter who's going to see that and break your ribs. Or if you're just fighting a boxer, they're going to probably just come in with a hook and take out your ribs. Not a good proposition for you at all. So those elbows must remain down. Besides, keeping your elbows close to your body keeps your power within your center. Whenever your arms lift away from your body, which is called opening your arms, you're taking the power away from you. So in jiu-jitsu, we call this open and closed. Close your elbow, you're stronger. Whenever you open your elbow away from your body, you're weaker. It's just not just jiu-jitsu, it's just the way the body works. It's just biomechanically the way things work. So it has nothing to do with what style you decide to practice or claim. It's just the way the body works. So it doesn't matter what style you call it, it all is the same thing. It's arbitrary. So we got our guard up. My elbows are tight and they're not up. Okay, we established that. Don't worry, I'm still going to get to those pivots. Now, when I step and jab, I got to keep my head right where it's at. And you're going to see when I cross and I pivot to get the power, I must do the same thing. The reason why I turn my hands, a lot of people don't know why you turn those hands. A lot of people just say, well, it's just for the snap, the power. And they're true, that's true. There is some snapping to it, there's power, but there's more reasons for it. One of the reasons is, of course, the snap. I feel you can get a lot of power by twisting in there. Also, when you hit just straight in, it's just blunt force trauma. I want blunt force trauma with a little twist to it so I can get a little cut. If I can cut my opponent, I can break his spirit, break his will. His blood is going into his eye. He's going to have to factor that in as he's fighting me. He can't see. I'm blinding him a little bit. So by cutting my opponent, it's a great thing to do. So if you think about it, when you're watching me throw these punches, by turning my hand, I'm going to cut my opponent a little easier. I'm going to get snap in my punches. But there's one critical thing that I like about turning my hands. And the thing is, it pops my shoulder up. And why will this be important? Even if I have my chin down, and if I keep my punch here, I can lift my shoulder, yeah, but if I turn my shoulder, wow, look at how high that shoulder pops up and blocks my face. That to me is very important. I need to be able to protect my face. Whenever I'm punching somebody, that's the time that I'm most vulnerable to getting hit. Think about that. Whenever I open myself up, that's the time to hit me. When I'm like this and you're hitting me, I'm pretty much covered, protecting. Yes, you'll get at me eventually, but the time to get me, the best time to get me is when I open up my defenses by exposing my offenses. So if I'm offensive and I make a mistake and there's an opening, that's the time to get me. So to limit the chances of me getting hit, I must throw punches and protect myself as I throw the punch. Some of the most common mistakes is when you throw that punch, your chin is up. And you'll turn your head as you punch. You'll leave your head as you punch. You'll fall to the side when you punch. These are all bad examples of punching. So, to do a case study, go to YouTube, look up felony fights, and I hate to put the race card out there, but put white guy versus Mexican. And you'll see these guys in the orange fields beating each other up. The fight doesn't last long. The guy's throwing punches wildly while the other guy's got his guard up. And he makes that mark. As the guy's punching, his chin is up way high. He gets hit right on the button. And then after that, the real fun starts. After he gets knocked out, cold, unconscious, he's on the ground, the other guy doesn't stop. He throws knee drops to the face, to the head. He's hitting him a bunch of times. and landing knee shots, and the aftermath of the guy on the ground getting demolished is not a pretty sight. But it is a great way to learn why you must cover when you're punching, okay? Learn from that fool's mistake. That guy got creamed, no big deal. It's not hurting me, but it's helping me understand that I should keep my chin down. I should throw punches and eliminate any chances of them firing back at me. So if I throw the right cross, the same thing applies. I can't allow myself to turn this way. You can see right now between my left hand, my right hand, in the camera, you can see my face pretty darn easy. That's the lane you need to just hit me right down the pipe. By leaning this way, by punching. And I see this especially with the extension punch. Boom, you're leaning forward. All you got to do is look at a lot of old pictures, the 60s and the 70s and the 80s and 90s, and you'll see people, still shots of them punching here. You'll even see the little pinky popping up. I really don't know why they're doing this, lack of discipline possibly, but every now and then you'll see this happen. The people will punch, and they're not really concentrated on everything. They're focused on one thing. And when you focus on one thing, you leave all the other things open. So don't let that pinky pop up. So back to the punching. When I punch with my right hand, we know that's not good. By turning my hand, we know that it causes a barrier between my shoulder and my face. So when I punch here, I'm really pretty much covered. You can see there's no lane, as opposed to here, there's a big lane. So keep your head from moving. You're pivoting on the ball of your feet. You're turning your shoulders. Your hips are rotating. Your knee is turning. There's a lot of rotation going on to develop power, but the thing that shouldn't move is your head. Your head should stay right here. Both eyes on the target, and you're punching. And you're bringing it right back. Don't throw across, drop the hand, come back, and then bring it up. That is a big mistake. You throw it right here on the B line, and you bring it right back on that line. In and out. Try to keep that like holy for yourself. When you throw the left jab, same thing. You throw the jab, you bring it right back. Don't throw the jab, drop it, and then boom. 9 times out of 10, you're going to start getting lazy, throwing a jab, throwing a jab, throwing a jab, and pretty soon your hands are down here. Not good. Keep your hands up. Boom, boom. Okay? When you're throwing punches, keep your elbows facing down. Here's a big bad thing that you can do. I'm over-exaggerating the motion, but it happens. Whenever you lift your elbow up, remember we talked about open and closed? When it's open, it's away from your body, and when it's away from your body, you're going to get hit. 2, you're taking your arm away from your center, which means you're taking away from your power. So when you throw punches, it's like someone's pushing your elbow, and then at the last second, you turn it. And then you bring it right back. Same thing on the jab. I'm pushing the elbow, I'm pushing the elbow, pushing the elbow, and then I turn it, and I bring it back. I don't like my elbows to open up. Why? Because it's a tell. Whenever I'm teaching my kids, the students that I have, if I get a brand new student and they have absolutely no idea how to punch, I make sure that they see this first. I'll have my guard up and I'll stand in front of the kid, and I'll say, "Okay, little Johnny, what punch am I going to hit you with?" And they have to guess. Well, I guess this punch. And as soon as they point at my hand, I pop them with that one. I don't hit them. I just go at them. So, just to clarify that, don't call social services on me. I'm not hitting my kids. So, they'll say, "Whoa, okay." I say, "Okay, you were wrong. Now, okay, let me do this again. What punch am I going to hit you with now, little Johnny?" And of course, he'll point to that one. I go, "Pop!" And I said, "No, you were wrong again." Then I'll have my guard up and I'll go, "Okay, Johnny, what hand I'm going to hit you with?" They'll point at that one. They know because I'm telling them, I'm pulling it back or I'm lifting my elbow up. And I said, "You're absolutely right. Whenever I lift my elbow up, that's what you should be looking for."